What's up, dudes? Welcome back to another episode of Rhomas Men's Team. Pretty simple. We are a group of guys helping each other make progress towards each other's goals. If you're new to the channel, awesome and welcome. If you want to help support the channel and join our pro team, head over to rhomasteam.com/pro, where you can contribute to us on a donation basis. We also give you access to exclusive content, mastermind groups, etc., etc. So anyway, hope you enjoy this episode, and we'll see you on the team.
What is up, dudes? Think Matt is gonna try to hop in. He's let me see if he texts me at all. He is going to be going to St. Louis today. We just talked. Anyway, let's get into it. Does anybody want to share any of their goals? I'd love it if somebody hopped on. Let's see who's on here. Attendees. Yeah, would love for anybody to hop on and share what their goals. I can share some of mine as well. You guys can hear me, right? There's nothing wrong with my audio. If somebody could give a thumbs up. Sweet. Troy, what's up? Patty P, Gibbons, Ryan, Lucas, John, Donovan Sod. I think Kaizen's on here too. Kaizen, what's up, dude? Cool. Like Kool-Aid as well. Ray, if you would like to hop on, always love talking to anybody, or if anybody else would like to hop on. If not, I'll kind of riff through some of my goals here. Big question for today: who has done their goals, and are they written down? I think that is a big, that's a big component. The amount of writing and rewriting that I go through for my goals is crazy. Mr. Ray, what's up, brother?
What's going on, Wes? Good morning.
Happy New Year, man.
Yes, sir. Haven't done my goals yet for 2022, but John, Walter, and we were going through our goals, our 2021 goals, like a goal review, which I think is a useful exercise as well, right?
Without a doubt.
So in order to see where we need to apply more energy. And so do you want to do that? Do you have your 2021s?
Fuck yeah. Well, I'm curious. I think people should be given a scope. So let's say, for instance, if I had a camera on you and I were to do a stopwatch and calculate the amount of time that you spent, let's say, on your goal session, like where you're strategically thinking about what you want to accomplish, or like you said, for you and John Walter, how much time you spent reviewing your goals. So if you had to guess, what would that number be?
It's just the 60 seconds a day during the scorecard session. And then,
which is a lot,
and then 5 minutes, like 5 minutes at the end of the year.
Okay. Got it. So, that's pretty interesting, because I think oftentimes when we talk like philosophically about things, just in general, like we never put that quantifier there.
Yeah.
And that helps me. Like, it helps me put in perspective. So just so everybody knows what I do, and this is not like I'm competing with Ray, because first of all, what he's been doing on scorecard is fucking phenomenal. And the 60 seconds a day, like, that's enormous. Think about how many, and for the scorecard, it's literally like focus on your goals, read it, write it on your journal, that kind of stuff. Anyway, I would say total, just for goal planning for 2022, I mean, I literally have these three binder things. I would say I've worked on it so far for probably 9 hours. Like, strategically sat down and wrote through and like rewrote through. And that
for 2022?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's just because sometimes I wish people would tell me, like, when I'm talking to different people and they're telling me, I wish they would tell me how much time they're spending, because I feel there's some sort of direct correlation with that and like precision. So I can tell you, dude, like, I write through everything and like just kind of like mind map it out, write through it, and then rewrite the fuck out of it. Like rewrite them. I don't know, man, like probably 6 different ways, and then end up cutting off, I would say, a lot of them. So then I'm left with, like, I'll show you my business goals right now. Like, these are the business goals, but it literally fits on one page. Like from there, like checklist style, and then
And what are the images up top?
So actually, so this year, this is why I'm still working on these. I still want to get deeper into this. So this is just to remind me, like in my finance career, like to build the religion of finance. Like Dave Ramsey and Tony Robbins have done a phenomenal job of building their religion. So I want to build more visuals into my goal planning. And I'll show you this. Let's see, where is this? Okay, so then obviously, like you and I have talked about, we've got our vision boards, right?
Yep.
So I have that. I'm going to edit that a little bit this year. That's my next step. And then this is another thing as well. Like one of the reasons that I massage them so much is because I want to be able to put them, as Charlie Munger would say, in a mental lattice work in my head. He's like, it should be your moral obligation to become as rational as possible. But then also you should know like the top main ideas in every important area of life. Like, so for him, it's psychology, biology, like all this kind of stuff. Right. But he says it's not enough to know it. You have to be functional with it. Like it has to be in your muscle memory. So if you look at like my business goals, and there's a bunch of pages behind this, like here's the list of projects that we have to accomplish to meet our goals. But then like I can't remember that, right? Like it's 34 items long. So then I put it into initiatives. It's like, okay, then there's 7 initiatives. Well, I can easily, or at least more easily, remember those 7 initiatives. So that way, using
that's goals in action. Does each goal have an initiative, or how's that work?
Yes. So each goal kind of nests itself under an initiative.
Okay.
Yeah. And then personally for me, I put quarters next to those goals. Like, okay, I want to accomplish that goal by quarter 4 or by the second quarter and so on. And then over here on the left side for the business is all of the by quarter. So quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and so on. I do have fourth quarter of 2021 on there as well, that we've completed. So
still help me understand this initiative thing. So I understand a goal is something you want to accomplish in 2022. Yep. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then an initiative is what?
Yeah, just a grouping of goals. So, for instance, like
can you read out one of them if you want, or just give us real world example?
Yeah. Well, maybe this will translate a little better for guys who maybe are not running a business or something like that. But like, let's say with your body, like transform my body would be an initiative. Okay. Well, what are the goals that gets me there? Well, I have to eat well, right? So like, eat density diet 90% of the time, right? There's something like that. Exercise, that would be one goal. Another goal would be, exercise 5 times a week or something along those lines. So,
gotcha.
So I've done that because I want to be able to do in real time, like Matt was saying, am I moving towards or away my goals?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of difficult if you have, let's say just for the business goals, if there's 34 goals, or like it's going to be very hard for my brain to go through the mental checklist 34 times. Versus 7 times, and maybe preferably even less than that, but let's say 7-ish. It's kind of easy for me to do that, right? At least it's way easier. Now what I'm doing is, and I would really love to have like a private session with some dudes who ever want to talk about this. Like, so this is like my female vision board. I'm going to be creating, I'm calling these, I don't know, like nucleus boards or cluster boards, like where the center goal, like that's the vision, right? And then all the surrounding things are who I have to be to earn that center vision, if that makes sense. And so I'm going to try these little cluster vision boards and then look through them every single day, put those around as well. Because right now, what I look at every day is my vision board. And every once in a while, I look at like my cluster board on this. But this, I was experimenting with my psychology a little bit yesterday, and this gives me a feeling, right? Like this gives me a feeling too, but and it helps me like when I get into work mode. But like this sparks an emotion for me, like I would say significantly more than this. And I think you need both. Like you definitely need both, right? So I'm going to be trying that.
A picture says 1,000 words, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the cliche is.
Yeah, exactly. Picture speaks 1,000 words. Definitely.
Yeah, that's it.
So anyway, so that's where I am, and I'm still not done. Like just to give you guys an idea, I've already spent 9-10 hours on this thing, and it's still not done. So if somebody says, first of all, they're in a great category. If I say, hey, where are your goals? If they can even provide those, that's like you're 1 out of 10,000 there. If you can even like say like, oh yeah, here's my.
If you have goals, yeah.
Or even if you have them, right? If you even have them in your head, then if you have them written out, you're now like one. Yeah, right. But then it's like, okay, if you're gonna write them out, did you go through the deep dive and like really say like this is what I want and this is exactly why I want it, and I timed map it between like it's not just my little childhood fantasy right now. It works for the medium term range and the long term range and for my immediate stakeholders. So like that's the level of detail, man. And it sounds like it's like overkill. Holy shit, though, man! Like it's that whole Conor McGregor quote, like precision beats power. It gets you like your brain is so effective at playing out avatars, and so strategic that you have no idea. Like it still surprises me, and I've been doing it for years. No idea how well defined your imagination can really be. And then all of a sudden, when you get in these little pockets of life that could feel good but don't align with your long-term vision, if you've got that into your bones, it's just so much easier to say no. I'm not going to do that.
When there's a large pizza in front of you, for example.
Exactly.
And there's veggies as well. Like you're able to. Well, I'm not, but I mean, maybe you're able to like fill up on veggies first. So Wes, do you want to give us like the let's like munch on some of these goals. Like, do you want to give us like the categories first?
Yeah,
because like, you can flash in front of us, but yeah. So, well, in terms of last year, what the categories we worked on as a team were financial, career, family, education, recreational, and that might be and then personal, and that the art of life might be in there somewhere. And then health, and then spiritual, and then fitness. Jeez, okay. So and I was going through these with John Walter, and and then for each of those categories there were like 10 items, 5 or 10 items. And so like I know that like I didn't pay down my student loans this year. That was on my goals. But then when I said create a savings account for a vintage car, and I was like, wait, I did do that. I made 2 payments towards that so far. Right. Did you get one yesterday?
No. Oh, I didn't even know you said anything.
Okay. Yeah. I sent.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, so I had totally forgotten that was a goal that I'd set for myself.
Yeah.
And achieved it.
Hell yeah, man.
So that's a win.
That's the other thing. And by next week, I'll have this all wrapped up, but having a trophy section, like a trophy section of your goals document is hugely important, like hugely important. So I take a snapshot, a screenshot of the win. And the funny thing is, like this is going to sound so ridiculous, but like, hey man, like I'm sharing a personal win.
Hey dudes, sorry for the interruption here. Just wanted to let you know, if you want to join our pro team, go to romasteam.com/pro. You can help support the channel. You will also get access to exclusive content, masterminds, one-on-one sessions, etc. All right, back to the episode.
So like this guy, I've been trying to replicate this guy's body for a while.
Hugh Jackman?
No, this is a different guy. This is some dude on, I don't know, on the internet.
You're watching.
Exactly. Yeah. The details don't matter. And dude, like on my bodybuilding like competition pictures, like I got relatively close. Like now this guy's like more jacked than I was, but it's like, wow, that's pretty fucking cool. So like trying to play out these visions to where you look like those or like create that scenery. So for instance, like one of my goals is to like every year like have this vision where my family gets together. So when I bring them together in PF Chang's, we didn't do it last year because of COVID, but and then I take a picture of that. It's fucking crazy how
what an achievement it is.
Well, and it looks like the fucking thing in your head.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I can tell you guys, and I don't even like saying this out loud. There have been 3 occasions where I've selected females in my head. It's like, this is what I want them to look like. Like, this is it, right? And then those females enter into my life in a very short period of time after that. And I am as robotic as they come. I can't fucking explain it.
Yeah.
Like I literally can't. Like, there is no.
Well, you can't explain it. You can't explain it. It's the proof. It's all the proof you need that setting goals and setting an intention and working towards them works. As outlandish as North Star as the goal is.
Yep.
Right.
It's
and then
crazy.
there's even the mundane. Like for family, I had more communication, express gratitude, daily quality time with Thea, daily quality time with Sarah, weekly visits with grandma and grandpa, rebuild a healthy relationship with my brother. And yes, I did not achieve all of those things, but I went to a dinner party with my brother in December, which was completely out of the picture, like out of the question for 2021.
Really?
For 2020. Okay. And so I did not rebuild a bulletproof relationship with him, but I put that on the vision board, and there were affirmative steps taken towards it subconsciously over the year, and I actually made gains on that.
Dude, I fucking love it. That and that's the other component. That's why I want to go deeper into the cluster vision boards, because what we're writing down as the goals are literally like our best guess as to how to achieve that vision for ourselves.
Yeah.
So I want to open it up. Even sounds funky, but I want to open up my consciousness even that much more of saying, well, like if I'm looking at this every day, am I embodying these things for that female, if that makes sense? So maybe there's things, even micro things that I'm not even paying attention to that I'm not writing down on my list. But then it's like, if I look at this, it's like, am I being like that? And then all of a sudden, maybe I'm doing like these little micro things, and those micro things add up to millions throughout the year. Does that make sense? And I'm leveraging the power in my direction that much more. So I'll let you know how it goes. But yeah, if you guys want to try, I mean, I'm very optimistic that it's going to move the needle big time.
Yeah, it's you got to kind of give up the worry about looking like a dork or acting.
Oh, did I give up that shit a long time ago?
Oh, I know. Wes, you don't need like, being king dork. You don't have to worry about giving it up. But like, no, when you said like opening your consciousness and stuff, like you have to kind of take your foot off the brakes when it comes to like using this cheesy language, right? Yeah. Because because you are getting in your own way if you hold back. So like you have to just accept that this you have to engage in a little bit of magical thinking.
Yeah, it's a great comment.
Just let yourself do that, and there's no downside.
Yeah, it's a great comment. You know what my fear has been is that I've gone to so many like seminars and so on, and a lot of them have been phenomenal. But I it's the 90-10 ratio. Like 90% of it's weird to me, then 10% is like really profound. Yeah. And I have found that it can turn a lot of people off because they're too much on the
woo-woo, like what you call
exactly, and like not enough on the action. That's why I love this group. It's like it's the inverse relationship, right? Like I don't fucking care. Like, how do I say this? So I just created in my notes, this is one of the pieces of content I want to deliver, talking about the desire filter. Like, so you have this immediate desire that sits at the top of the funnel. But then as you go down, it passes through this funnel and whittles its way down to like true desire. So like one of them would be like, okay, you have this big desire. Okay, does it time map properly? So for instance, steroids for me get taken out immediately. Not that I judge anybody who takes steroids, like props to them, like because they're effective. But like for me, it seems to compete with my future self. Do you know what I mean? So like that's taken out. So like that's filtered out there. Then the next one and the next one. So there's filters.
Right. It reminds me of your goal, like your goal matrix, right? Is it something I've wanted in the past?
Yep.
Is it something I want in the future?
Mm-hmm.
Is it something
Exactly.
I've always wanted? And is it something that's going to serve me well in the future?
Yep, exactly. Right. You're spot on. And then one of the other filters that I have below there is, is it congruent with the key stakeholders in my life?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like, I'm not going to work 16 hours a day because, my girlfriend would not like that, right? And my future wife would not like that, whatever that is.
It's incompatible with the relationship goals you have.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So then eventually you reach that true, pure desire. That's what I move on. You know, and that's why I'd recommend everybody move, because if you don't put it through a desire filter, inevitably you're going to have some sort of collision with something else in your life. And like, I really like Alex Hormozy talked about micro slow and macro fast, and you just make up the speed by not taking detours.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like, I would argue that what we're doing right now is micro slow. Like, spend 10 hours writing out your goals, right? But then you get so precise that you don't have to stop along the way because you know exactly what you want. Yeah.
So I told you what the goal categories were for 2021. Tell me what your goal categories are for 2022.
Yeah, I have it right here. So I always pretty much stick with the same categories relatively. I usually let people talk me into adding a spiritual category, and I make approximately 0% progress on that every year. So this
not true. We meditated a couple of times together, Wes.
Oh, okay, good point. I don't even put that in spiritual category. Like, I put that in like I'm optimizing my prefrontal cortex category.
Well, not all. Yeah, I don't have that category.
So I've got finances, so money. Then I've got career. Then I have health and fitness. I've got relationships, art of life, and charity. And for that area, also what I do is I write it out in complete sentences, and I write it out in and there actually is research backing this. I gave a lot of resistance to this early on. I write it out as if it's future, but it's the present. So it's December 3rd. It's December 31st, 2022. I have made X amount of dollars, blah blah blah, right? And then I list out all the things I'm so happy and grateful for. Like, there's a couple books that talk about this. But if you can really believe that, and like go through, I shouldn't even say really believe it. Like, yes, but I have trouble with that. I would say really feel as if you have those goals, and then it compels you. And that's why I started creating those cluster boards. Like, I feel it so much more than just like reading through a list, if that makes sense. And I know this sounds probably like a bad name to some people, but that guy Dan Bilzerian, I'm not sure if anybody's heard of him. I'm sure you guys have. Funny enough, I've never even heard of this guy until like he was interviewed on Rogan and so on. And apparently he does a lot of things on Instagram, and it seems like he's like a young playboy, like Hugh Hefner type of deal. I don't know anything about that.
Phony. He's a phony, right? Like he like
I don't know.
He rents. Yeah, exactly. My impression is like he rents cars, houses, and women for Instagram shoots, and he's like, "Look how rich I am."
Yeah.
But anyway, tell me.
Yeah, I have no idea. Like, I could totally.
Yeah, Kaizen says he beat him up, or no? Wait. Kaizen beat him up or something, or no? I'm sorry. No. He's a poker dude. He's friends with some people I know. Anyway.
Yeah. So I don't know anything.
And all we know, right? And West, I think you're right. Like, all we know is his public persona. Yeah. Right. We don't know anything about the guy. We just know about the image he's manufactured.
Yeah. And also, like, the fact that we all know him, like, says something, right? It says something about, like, I don't know if like somebody says he's a trust fund baby. That's probably true. I have no idea. But I can't knock his hustle on the fact that, like, when I say, "Hey, does anybody know this?" Like, we instantly get comments.
That's true.
You know, one of the things that he said on an interview, I don't know if it was Rogan or somebody else, but I do think he's able to articulate, if for nothing else, it seems like a brilliant marketer, because I can hear some of the words that he's saying, but he's playing this role of like trying to get you to think and feel something and be very casual and nonchalant about it. And I can totally respect that. It's like, props to you, man. Like he's a very good communicator, it seems like to me. Because he'll be like very casual and say like, kind of like almost like frat boyish, but then come out with this like very well articulated string of words that's like very precise and like very synthesized and like spot on. But anyway, one of the things that he said that I really appreciated was like, he was talking about, getting girls. And he said, it was this great line. He was like, when I realized that I had to just put so much effort in not to chasing the girls, but to creating the environment that would get the girls to chase me. Now, I totally understand how like some people would say, oh yeah, like become attractive so girls chase you. But no, he was saying built the environment to the point where that's probably why he rented the mansions. He got all that. Like you think about creating that, like he created his own Vegas. Right. That's like that to me is where I want to focus a portion of my time this year is how can I build the environment? So building the company to accomplish what I want. Right. Like, and that involves building the psychologies of the people that work for me. Like, how can I invest in them and build their infrastructure? Like, so I really want to get into environment and infrastructure building this year. So that's a sort of a meta thing over, my goals this year.
Awesome. I'm working on something here for Sarah. She's trying to pay a bill at the bank. So,
oh yeah, no sweat.
I'm emotionally unavailable to you, Wes.
So,
but I think I agree. Like, I agree. You can't knock like, I mean, we've talked about that before, like creating the you that earns your goals.
Yes.
Right.
And one step further, creating the you, but then creating the environment. Like that is different, right? Like, I mean, dude, like this, I just added another dimension for me, so for instance, like I'll give you like a tangible example. So, we just hired a new employee and I was working with her yesterday and it's like, oh shit, like, what if I put effort into like just making her super productive and super happy about working here? And so like that made me think through, because now like I just gave her projects over the last couple of weeks and she's got them done for me. That is, I know it sounds like so obvious, but it's outsourcing that and she's delivering great results back. So it's like, well, for me to have gotten done those projects, I mean, first of all, I could not have gotten them done because I'm doing other projects. So like those projects would not have been done, let's say maybe 5 months from now. But now what I can do, it's like, okay, she's getting them done. Well, how can I optimize my emotional bank account with her? So for instance, like I'm going to get her a $100 gift card to somewhere that she likes, or a $200 gift card to a fancy restaurant for her and her husband, like something like that. So how can I optimize the environment? And she's in the environment, she's part of that environment. How can I start to optimize all those things? Also goes into like, how can I construct my office? How can I construct my life so that every single door I walk through is motivating me at a conscious and subconscious level to accomplish what I want to accomplish? And I can tell you, I've done this in micro bits, like with my personal office right now. I joined a very high-end gym, like all those types of things, but it's not everywhere yet. So how can I build that? And that's what I want to create. And by the way, that even entails, like one of the things I'll tell you guys that might help, or you might get some value from, is I want to build an old school, small town feel to my life, even though I want my life to be in bigger spaces. So here's what I mean, right? Like I live in Orange County. There's a shitload of people here. But what I want to create is every little micro place that I go, like the gym, right? It's a small little microcosm of Orange County. I've for the last couple years, I've been forcing myself to talk to people at the gym and writing their names down after I talk to them. So now when I go to the gym, and this is like one of the coolest compliments ever, like now when I go to the gym, I was just talking to somebody recently and probably 10 people walk by me at that time, like when I'm talking to this person, and they come up and say, hey, Wes, how you doing? Right? Like, and I'm not bragging. I'm saying like, that's because I put effort into And can you guys still hear me? I want to make sure because I think Ray's frozen. I want to put effort into building the small town environment so that when I walk in there, it feels like I'm just walking into a local coffee shop. Right. And dude, that sounds so weird. And I'm not doing a great job of articulating it well. But man, when you walk into different environments where you're welcome. All right, Ray, just invite you again, pal. Ray, if you can hear me, do you see the invite, bro? Okay, here we go. Okay, cool. I just sent you the invite. There you go. Okay. Yeah. So and cool, Kaizen. Yeah. No, I agree, man. It took me so long to figure out that it was a cool exercise, and Kaizen could probably provide a ton of advice in this category. And I feel like this translates to talking to girls, right? Like I think way too many men who are looking for girls, they make it this too big of a task, and they're also not used to, like you said, Kaizen, having the muscle of just talking to people. So that way, when they go and they try to talk to a girl, it's like trying to talk to this like Greek goddess that they build up in their head versus just saying like, "Hey, how you doing? Like, what's your name?" So Ray, yeah, I'll invite you again. Let's see here, buddy. All right, Ray, I just sent it to you again, brother. Let me know if you need me to send it again. Okay. So yeah, I can tell you it added legitimate points to my happiness. Dude, I even do it at my local Trader Joe's, as crazy as it sounds. And then I go out in the parking lot, I write down their name, and then I try to go back. And it usually takes a few times when I say their name. Then they ask for my name again. And then, a handful of times of going through that circle or that loop, then they know you. And it's just, I don't know, man. Like human beings we are social creatures, kind of baked into our DNA. So if but society, especially out here in Orange County, like people have just become, in my opinion, like too individualistic. So you don't have like this rapport with your community. It's just a cool feel. And I think, who said it? Was it Patty P?
No.
Oh, Troy hitting on the girl giving him COVID test that she's very pretty. Dude, Troy, actually, funny enough, man, I think it's I hate even calling it a tactic, but like, I would love the guys to try this. Like, let's say if you're single, right? If you're single, and you think a girl is pretty, tell her that she's pretty. Like, not in a weird way, and you can even like put disclaimers around. I've done this in the past, like when I was single. Like literally just said things that were like super on my mind and super authentic. I've told girls like literally that I've had dreams about them before. Girls that were like I kind of knew as acquaintances, but was not okay to tell you have dreams about them, right? Like, and I was like, oh, I'm going to test this. So I went up to, I remember it's very specifically this girl in high school, super attractive girl. And I just said it like very casually, nonchalantly, but it was the truth. Like I wasn't trying to hit on it. It's like, hey, like this is going to sound super weird. And I can share the details with you if you'd like. I'm not so sure that you'd like me to, but I just thought that it's a pretty big compliment that like I legitimately had like this massive dream about you last night. I know it's super creepy, but like I just thought it'd be funny. And dude, it was like a 75% chance she was going to punch me, right? Like, and 25% chance she would receive it well. And dude, she received it super well. So anyway, if you think girl's pretty, tell her. And also if you want to talk to her, just say hi, right? Like, hi, my name's Joe, right? Like, hey, how's your day going? Like, you don't have to make it weird. Anyway, Ray, what's up, brother? You're welcome.
Yo,
welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
So tell me about your goals in 2020, if you don't mind sharing some of them, and like, what are some of the top ones?
So yeah, to be honest, Wes, I have not really meditated on my 2022 goals. Like just off the top of my head, fitness is one. It's fitness is something I dedicated a lot of time to over the year, and I got down to 161, I believe.
Hell yeah, man.
And then I got back up to 191. Hell no. Yeah. And then but I mean that shows I can do it, and that's 100%. Just so that's something I want to. So maybe I'll put 161 back. So getting back down to 160 is like that's a goal. In terms of career, I just want to make more than I did last year.
Okay.
So you know what? Let me go through the categories again and just so family. Spend more time with my dad. Yeah, I guess. I mean, my dad is dying of cancer, and so
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
it's cool, man. It's I appreciate the sentiment. But like, so that's something that kind of stresses me out, where it's got this counterintuitive effect where like I would rather not hang out with him so that I don't have to deal with the painful issue of his mortality, right?
Yeah,
so I guess so Kaizen said having meaningful moments with family is a goal of his this year. And so I think that's a great way of putting it. I remember.
Oh, can I add one thing to that?
Yeah.
And Kaizen, this is why I go through like 6 different drafts of my goals. And maybe this is what you mean, but like, let's say if it was me, I would personally change that having to creating.
Yeah.
Like that's for me. I don't know why, but for me, it's like creating those memories. It's because especially as men, I feel like we generally take a passive role to like family building, you know? So like, it just feels so much more empowering to me to, if it were on my goal sheet, not that you have to do that obviously, but to use that word creating over having.
Yeah. And then Chalupa Cabra, Ryan, he in one of our sessions like this, or maybe it was a goal setting session last year, he said, having activity-based fun. So like rather than like saying, let's spend more time together, you get 2 tickets to a museum or baseball game or something, or like you organize a picnic in the park. And
love it.
It takes the pressure of forcing an emotional connection with your family members and turns into an activity. And it just makes the chance of it being hella fun a lot greater.
Oh yeah. And then you step up your game. The next map that I do over my goals is I call it canvas mapping, and I personally see like time as a canvas. So like, dude, the amount of times I've gone through my mom's birthday and not being prepared for it, right? Like it took me 23 years or 25 years to understand that July 25th comes at the same time every fucking year, you know? So like, yeah, if you say like create meaningful memories for my family, like, and if I was putting accountability on you, it's like, okay, when, where, right? Like when in the calendar, when does it happen? Okay. Do you have the resources for it? Like, are you going to take your family on a picnic? Okay, great. Like, when do you suppose you should buy those? Like all those types of things. Dude, even as small as, I can't reach it right here, but I've got this box of cards, right? Because every fucking year for my mom's birthday, my grandmom's birthday, I'd have to run to Target at like 10 p.m. at night to find the last, Christmas card or birthday card, whatever. It's like, how many fucking years do I have to go through to realize that there's some repetition to this shit? So now I just buy a boatload of cards, like, so I always have a full stack of birthday cards, full stack of romantic cards, full stack of all that stuff. Like, what other things in our lives, if we were running our lives as a fucking business, right? Like when you buy printer paper, you don't buy one ream of paper, How the fuck what are those areas in life? And if you can map out the whole year, can you take, right? Like, why is it ridiculous to buy the supplies for the stuff 6 months in advance? Then your life is just like fluid, man. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. Like, trust me, my life is gonna be a fucking train wreck a lot of times.
No, Wes, I love how when you have righteous indignation, you go to like printer toner and printer paper. I think that's hilarious. But in terms of like, so Ryan mentioned activity-based fun. And so like, I want to create meaningful moments through activity-based fun with my family members, Thea and Sarah. And if I can, and so with Sarah, I mean, we talked a lot about, so Sarah and I went to Art Basel, Miami Beach, the art fair down in Miami alone together this year. So that was activity-based fun. And it was we had a really great couple of days together. I mean, that was her idea. So, I mean, but I showed up. So that there was kind of, I was an invited guest. So like I RSVP'd. So maybe she gets the credit for organizing that, but that is like exactly the kind of thing that we should do. Thea, I took her to Universal Studios with one of her little girlfriends and their dad. So we did a kind of dad-daughter double date thing to Universal, which was awesome. We did that in May, and then I took her to a Tampa Bay Buccaneers football game. Did I tell you about this, Wes?
Yeah. Well, we were on the phone like before I think you were heading out to it or something like that.
Okay, yeah. So Thea and I drove from Palm Beach to Tampa, which is like 3 or 4 hours across the state. Checked into a hotel, went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game, like got free T-shirts, and then there's the kiss cam for couples sitting together. There's also the Simba cam for parents where they lift the kid up, like that Lion King scene. And so they filmed Thea and I doing that.
Oh, it's awesome,
and we got on the Jumbotron, and then they gave us more free T-shirts. And then I ate like a bunch of hot dogs and pretzels. And so that was really great. It was really great activity-based fun. And like some people were razzing me. It's like, oh yeah, what'd you get Thea for Christmas? Oh, tickets to a football game. Every 9-year-old girl's dream. But the reality is that it was like, it was activity-based, meaningful moments, quality time, just her and me. And so those are two. So that's a huge win. Those are two huge wins in terms of family of the past year. And so for the coming year, I definitely want to commit to doing activity-based fun with my wife, Sarah, which and because we've talked about like dance class, or like even like pottery class, or Sarah even recommended like a climbing gym, like a mountain, like a rock climbing gym.
Yeah. Hell
together as a couple. So those are and that's an example of like a fitness goal and a relationship goal.
100%, dude.
That you can take off.
This is why thinking through it, right? Like literally sitting down and thinking through it, especially as a team, is just fucking phenomenal. Because like it's like, look, how much of a great event could you come up with, 5 minutes from when you actually have to do it?
Right.
Which is what most of us do. Like, oh shit, like I have
buying gas station flowers on the way home on your anniversary,
exactly,
or whatever.
Dude, I can tell you, and I hope one of you guys chooses to replicate this. So 3 or 4 years ago, I said, okay, I want to go all out for Mother's Day because women raised me. Like my mom, my grandmom, and my best friend's mom. Like I was at their houses. That's where you would have found me when I was a kid. So I was like, you know what? I don't want this Mother's Day just to be like, I go back, I bring some roses, right? Like, and we have dinner at my mom's house. Like my mom does all the fucking work, Right. So Luke, dude, I can tell you. So I put a bunch of effort into it. I rented a huge stretch Escalade limo. Got reservations.
Was it white?
Dude. No, it was not. I wish it was. Got reservations at the 3 best restaurants in the city. So so one was to eat our dinner, next one was to go and have desserts, and the next one was to go and have drinks after. And like got them flowers, got all the stuff, took videos of it, like.
And this was all the women who raised you?
Yeah.
And this was in Philly?
Yeah. So and it was a week before Mother's Day, so they had no idea, right?
Yeah.
I think I got like some of their friends to call them and say, hey, why don't we go out to dinner or something, and just make sure you look presentable.
Reserve the night, yeah.
Yeah, and then you show up in this big fucking, this huge like Escalade stretch, dude, awesome. And then like we videotaped, and just like everybody's crying, like all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying to brag. I'm saying it's like that's what you can do when you sit down, pen to paper, and say, how can I give them a level 10 experience? That's different than like, oh, can I show up to the fucking barbecue for her, for her Mother's Day? That's just different. Both are good, right? Like they both check the box, but one is fucking. They literally talk about it every single time I come home. You know, I think because they're slightly hinting that they want to do it again. You know, it's like, hey, remember that time when, you know,
yeah. I'm thinking more helicopter now.
Dude, actually, funny enough, that's on the list. Like literally that's I want to see if I can pull that off. So yeah, like, cause dude, you don't have so much fucking time. Yeah.
Well, you want to scare the hell out of your grandmother.
Yeah. But it's like, what the fuck else are we here for, man?
Have you ever been in a helicopter?
No.
Neither have I. Maybe Kaizen has been or something. One of these savages.
I feel like he's guaranteed to have like.
He probably stole. He stole one. Yeah. No, he robbed a bank and like he was like, I want a helicopter. You know, to release these hostages. Okay, yeah.
Oh, dude, Kaizen is saying $100, pretty cheap. Yeah.
Wow.
So, dude, I might have to do that.
Exactly. Try. Yeah. Yeah. So, Wes, can you help me understand your financial and career goals? And you don't have to get super personal if you don't want to, but just understand the help me like break down your financial and career goals for me in terms of what micro categories you're working with.
Oh yeah, totally. So for me, I would say 80% of the focus is purely on building the business and like me becoming way more of the rainmaker. Because right now we have several. I would say we've got 3 like rainmakers on our team. But I want to become 10x the rainmaker, if that makes sense. You know, building it out to so much of a predictable system, right? Like that's what Tony Robbins has. That's what all the names that we know of. That's what they have. You know, they have just gone through the reps of building the fucking machine. So that's my goal, right? Like to build the business machine. That's what like the initiatives are and like all that stuff. So that's that. On the personal side, just so everybody knows, like I'll be 100% transparent here. Like I want to, it's always a fine line. Like how much do I save? How much do I pull out of the business? And how much do I keep in the business? Because obviously when you pull money out of the business, you get taxed on it, right? Like, you know, not fun. And then a bunch of people play this game where it's like, oh yeah, but you can get a bunch of write-offs and so on. It's like, yes, totally. But like, that's still not money in your pocket, right? Like, you know, yes, you get like, and obviously some people play a little too much on the gray area. They just like, you know, are not exactly legal with it. But like personally, like it's a fine dance of how much I take out versus how much I live in. So anyway, I want to save $2,000 a week. Purely, like not my personal savings, but this is purely putting towards a house, right? Because I go back and forth. I don't personally want a house. Like I love living, just so everybody knows, to be fully candid, I rent a room and have roommates. So I pay $800 a month for my rent. And not to sound like a douchebag, I do not have to do that. Like I promise you guys, I could go live a super fancy condo, high-rise condo, and in wherever I like in Orange County. And I'm not saying to sound like a douchebag. I'm saying that that's just not congruent with my goals right now. My goal is to build for my future family. So like right now, I want to keep on adding to my house bucket. So because if I want,
and it's part of your scarcity mindset too. I think
100%, 100%.
You don't you live lean because you want to reallocate those extra bucks to a more important bucket.
Yeah. And I'll tell the numbers just because I just wish men would have more conversations around actual numbers around finances. So like I won't be vague. So like last year my goal was to make $500,000. I did not do that. I'm still doing my accounting for the end of the year, but I probably landed between 300,000 and like 320-ish thousand, maybe even 350. There's different kind of sources that come in. That's why there's a little bit of delta there. So that will give you guys an idea. I don't have credit card debt. I have student loan debt that I've chosen not to pay off because the interest rate's ridiculously low. So let's just say I don't have any debt, right? Like, so that's just to create the illustration. And I don't have a family, right? I don't have to pay, like I do not have to be living in a place that, right? Like, you know, that is $800 a month. Actually,
people storage. You don't have to live in people storage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. My rent is all in is they just jacked it up to $900 a month.
Oppressive.
So yeah. So anyway, so the point is like that's an example of like, why would I go out and do something just for other people so I can tell people I live in this like fancy place? I might want to do that in the future, but the point is, when I want to do it, I will. I don't want to do it right now because it's a misallocation of resources. Anyway, my goal for this year is to dedicate solely in this category $2,000 a week towards saving more towards like a future house. That future house is likely going to be like a $1.5 to $2 million house. So anyway, that just, anyway, does that answer some of like your career?
Absolutely. Yeah. And in terms of career, like I set my annual like income goal was 150,000. I don't think I reached that either, but and I'll have to do the accounting on that and maybe share and follow up with you guys next week on that. But I liked setting the bar that high.
Hell yeah.
And I liked like it caused me to go for deals, go for some long shot deals.
Yep.
And put in a little bit of extra time.
Yep.
So
well, if you don't mind
even
me
if
asking,
I'm closer, even if I'm okay, go ahead.
If you don't mind me asking, you said it at 150.
Yes.
What was, and you landed, if you want to share with the guys where you landed, but then also where you landed the year before, or maybe even let's just say a percentage.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
So the year before, So I think I may have landed between 50 and 75 or 75 and 80. Like that's where I think I landed. And the year before I made 20.
There you go. Right. So you set it to 150 and you didn't hit 150, but you hit multiple.
I still
more,
doubled.
Right?
Yeah. Doubled the previous year.
Hold on. How much did you make the previous year?
Like 20.
Oh,
grand.
Dude,
so triple. Yeah.
Like it's the whole cliche, like, shoot for the moon, you land on the fucking clouds or whatever.
Right.
Hell yeah, dude. Like I just wish men would talk about money more and like, not like crypto, bro. Right. Like, no, I'm talking about like this stuff. Like the thing that moves the needle is your skills and how much money you make. Like that's the goal.
And so in terms of skills, like one of my goals was to learn the Sandler sales technique.
Fucking
and I mean, I downloaded a bunch of like books and stuff like that. But to be honest, Sarah and I on a drive when we were down in Florida, like a long drive, like she was talking about she wants to create NFTs. So she was talking about all the kind of digital skills she needs to sharpen up on in order to do that. And the various courses, like, and which online course program have you talked about before? Udemy
and Coursera,
yeah. And so, I think in order to hold myself accountable, I have to sign up for a Sandler sales course, pay the 1,000 or 2,000, so that there's like and it's on Thursdays. Let's say it's Thursdays 6 to 9. So I actually show up and get it done. Because if it's just like, if it's free and it's in I got like a pirated version and it's in a folder on my computer, that doesn't seem to be lighting a fire under my ass.
Dude, well, and this is an open invitation to anybody. I just put out an invitation to a couple buddies. I'm going to go to an NLP course in, I think it's March. So if anybody wants to go, let me know. It's in March and it's in San Diego. I've been wanting to study NLP for a long time. This is
what is NLP?
So NLP is literally basically what Tony Robbins does.
Okay.
He kind of like, I don't want to say he stole it, but like he went and took an NLP course, and that's basically what he's running. Hey Kaizen, it's not Evan Pagan who's running it. Funny enough, I sat down with Evan Pagan. Kaizen, I feel like you and I have a very similar interests. So I sat down with Evan Pagan not too long ago in a group that I was in. But it's an NLP practitioner, and I don't know honestly that it's the best NLP place. If anybody knows like the best NLP place, I would love to go to it. It was a little difficult to research because it's like, it's kind of fits this weird category, like almost like chiropractors, like are they credentialed, like are they not, like that sort of thing. But like I want speed this year, so that's where I landed. If anybody knows of a better place, let me know. And so
is it like life coaching?
No, okay.
Or like influencer, kind of like, is this part of like the influencer goal of yours?
it's part of the skill building part. So like NLP is supposed to basically be,
and it stands for what?
Neuro-linguistic programming.
Okay.
So it's basically, from my understanding, like the science of motivation, right? Like, if I could say, like, if you want something, how can you get yourself to do it? And also how can you get other people to do it? So like teaches you like at a certain level how the brain works. So like, I'm sure some people would say it's like pseudoscience. Other people would say like, but I can tell you this, enough people who I respect in business have taken it for me to be like, okay, yeah.
And you would be taking this in order to master your own brain, or is this part of your being a better communicator to others?
Both.
Okay.
Right. Like if I want to get to rainmaker status at the levels of these gentlemen, right? Like I need to like be a fucking animal when it comes to that. Like be the best human on earth at communicating and persuasion and leading and all those things. And Ray, the reason I brought this up is because you are spot on. Like, how much do you want to pay for no results? Right? Like I can tell you that when I get a book on like an ebook or like whatever, I learn from it. But if I go and immerse myself for 3 days fully, dude, I mean, like there's nothing that even comes close. And yes, I will pay 100x for that because that gives me results. You know, I had a buddy who was talking about like my green tea. I was like, dude, like I got in this green tea, matcha green tea from, I think it's called Peak Tea. From my understanding, it's like soup, like one of the best green teas out there. And I pay $60 a box for it. And it's like, I don't know, like 30 servings, right? So it's $2 per serving. And my buddy's like, bro, like, what do you just get that at Walmart? And I was like, okay, but you get 0 results with that, right? Like, how much would you like to pay? Yeah, you pay $1 for it, but you get 0 results. You know, so how much do you want to pay for no results? My answer is I don't want to enter into that transaction.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, so that's open invitation if guys want to meet me in San Diego to do that.
So skills development, that is, and so does that fall under the career category for you, or what category, or is that its own category? Skills development.
So that is I incorporate those in each one of my goals. You know, so for instance, like, you know, for the business, like in those goals is my skill development. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, and actually you're getting me to, oh, by the way, I'm getting into fountain pens, dude. Seriously, it's a game changer.
And next you're going to have samurai swords. I'm like, dude, I'm into samurai swords.
Yeah.
No, I know that when I worked at a law firm, like whenever we had to sign an important legal document, the partner didn't want just a Bic pen. He wanted something that gave a signature with gravitas.
Yep, 100%.
And so I guess the fountain does the job.
Dude, I like literally on the plane home, I spent 5 hours. And you'd be proud of me, right? I got a first class ticket to and from to increase my level of psychology. Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, game changer.
It's nice up there, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've been flying coach. And it's just it's hard, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, it's just you set it's the high water mark problem, right? Like once you have a high water mark and the water goes down, it's like
I'm not as hard as I used to be. You know, like fighting for that elbow like room, fighting for that like overhead compartment.
Yep.
You know, I've been out of the game for too long.
Yeah. Oh, and Ryan, I'm definitely looking into nice paper. And Troy, I do not use a bamboo whisk yet, but I definitely I do have. I literally ordered a bamboo whisk.
What's that like Chinese calligraphy kind of pen?
No, for the
something?
Matcha. Right, it's supposed to be this whole meditative process, you know.
I got you.
But I do put the water temperature on the right.
Do you bang like a tiny gong in the office when you're drinking?
Dude, I totally would. I started genuflecting at my desk to make it more like before I go to my desk, I genuflect to make it like I'm entering into onto my dojo right now. Like that's what's going on. Yeah. So
and then you like and like your partners at your office are like, what the hell?
Oh, dude, they already know, man. Like
they know it works.
They do. That's the thing, dude. Like everything's fucking voodoo until, you know, until Tom Brady wins all the championships, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what the fuck's that guy doing? Like he's doing like muscle
Veganism.
pliability,
Yeah.
right? Like, oh shit, like it works, and then all of a sudden everybody starts following it. So Ray, I'm so happy you brought up Sandler sales, right? Like because I
love that, Wes. Like, how much are you willing to pay for zero results? So like, I downloaded an audiobook illegally, like a pirated copy. I listened to it twice, you know, but,
and you probably didn't do the exercises. I'm going to
hell
assume.
no.
Yeah,
hell
exactly.
no. I mean, whatever. Like I took note, I was listening and I was taking notes, but I did it twice. Like we're talking like we're talking 30 minutes max. So like,
oh dude, that's not the program, bro. I have the audio program.
Yeah.
It's like fucking like 20 hours.
Yeah.
I forget what it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So like signing up for a course, a Zoom course with a bunch of other nerds, you know, is just how I'm going to force myself out of bed and like actually do this.
Yeah. I would love it for you guys. Like I will, once I finish my goals, my goal, I think is this year to do 3 to 5 immersion courses. I'll let you guys know if anybody would get value out of it. But there's a 97% chance I'm going to that NLP one, unless one of you guys tell me there's a better one. But that is, I think it's March 3rd. I'll send out the info March 3rd. And I think it's 2 or 3 days, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but it's legit. I mean, I think it's like 12 hours a day, in San Diego. So, we can all, get a few hotels there. San Diego's a little pricey, just to give you guys a heads up. But yeah, so I'll let you guys know. I will very likely be doing a dance conference as well. If anybody's interested in that, I don't know if I'm going to do hip hop dance or West Coast swing, but I'll let you guys know. And anybody's welcome to join on these immersive like excursions.
Hey, and John Walter said he hit his re-gold weight.
Oh, fuck
right
yeah,
on the
man.
nose on New Year's Eve. And I know like I think he's like, John, I think you lost 80 pounds. Is that correct? From your all-time high, which is just remarkable.
And John, and this goes for all you guys. So I'm building out one of the things.
You lost 150 pounds from your all-time high weight?
Oh, fuck.
Wow.
John, can you please send me your before and after, like your best before and after, or like whatever before and after you I would be honored if you share that, because eventually we want to have like a Rhomas, area members area and all that kind of stuff. And I want to share, right, like the before and afters if you guys are comfortable
pictures.
With that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I could definitely do my before picture now. So I'll do that.
Yeah, dude, I just love hanging out with you guys.
In fact, actually, my before picture looks way better than my after picture. So I'm gonna start with maybe I'll take a before picture today, and then in 6 months, take an after.
Love it. Hell yeah.
I've started to weigh myself every day on your advice and take a picture of it. Even if I'm not eating perfectly on any given day, I'm getting into the habit of monitoring that number.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude, it reminds me. And Saad just said MFG is ducking you. Sorry, Saad, let me know what I'm ducking MFG for. I don't know if MFG left a note in the comments or something I didn't see. I just got, so you guys know I have the Renfo scale, right? So when you step on the Renfo scale, the body fat measurement's garbage, just so everybody knows. But the cool thing is it Bluetooth connects to your phone on an app. And what I just got is a Renfo tape measure. So you put this tape measure around you and it like links into this like central device, and then it takes your measurement around your waist or wherever else you want, and it Bluetooth links into that. So like that's the next thing. Saad says, I've been asking about that. Oh shit. So yeah, my weight's down, I think 7 pounds.
Fuck.
7 pounds, I think. I'm not at the 10-pound mark where I want it to be, but I'm down 7 pounds. So yeah, I want to get back into fighting shape, stepping on stage in the next 6 months. So MFJ, G, please keep on pushing on me, bro. Well, MFG, what are you at, dude? What's the goal? Like, what body fat percentage do you want to get down? You're at 148. What body fat do you want to be at? My goal is to stay. He's going for 8. Yeah, that's a great percentage. My goal is to get down to, if I step on stage, my goal is to get down to 3-4 ish, but my goal for 2022 is to stay 8 and under, like hover between 6 and 8. I know that when I'm like, my satisfaction level of shreddedness is at 6%, like 6-7%.
And how do you figure out your what percentage you're at, body fat?
Yeah, good question. So, the easiest way is if your gym has this thing called an in-body. Actually, scratch that. That's not the easiest way. The easiest way is fat calipers. They're actually like these little pincher things you can get on Amazon. Like you pinch it until it clicks, right? And and then you do it over different areas of your body, right? That's the lowest cost and easiest way. The second easiest way is to step on what's called an in-body scanner. It's just like my gym has it. There's supplement companies, retail shops have it sometimes. You step on it, you put your hands on the electrodes. That's the only like electrical device that I personally trust, right? Like that's relatively available to the public. The next one is what Gibbons is talking about, DEXA scan. It's a little on the pricey side, as you can see. He said $100. It's literally a scanner that goes over your body. I've never gotten that done. And then it'll tell you your amount of fat tissue. Isn't there a very generalized way of like age? If you're this old and you're weigh this much, you're probably this BMI. No. So that is your BMI, not your body fat percentage. Okay. I don't think those are synonymous. Then the other like very accurate way is to get hydrostatic body fat testing, which is like they submerge you in a little bath, and they take your weight and so on. And they see what you weigh before and after, like in the bath, out of the bath, and that's fat floats. So that's how they come up with the calculation. That's what I did before. So I do a combination of in-body testing, caliber testing, and hydrostatic body fat testing. So those are all of your options. If you want a quick visual, this is actually pretty easy. Like, and it's actually pretty accurate. If you can see, generally speaking, your lower abs, like defined top and bottom, right? So your lower section of abdomen, defined top and bottom, you are very likely maximum 10%. So you're 10% and under, if that makes sense. The more you can see that, the lower you're going down. Once you start seeing veins coming up from like your groin area up to like your belly button area, right? And your belly button will likely start to become an outie at that point. Then you are you're around like the 5% mark, right? When you start not being able to like sleep properly because you wake up often and so on, because your body's searching for calories, you are probably around 4%. No, literally, like it's those are yeah.
Well, I'll let you know if any of that happens. But
yeah.
You might have died of old age by the time I get around to that kind of like quality. But anyway, so Wes, I think we're at about an hour. So we've talked about goals for the year.
Yep.
And like, can you talk about any goals for this month or this week or something to like? So you're committed to accomplishing these things this year, and what do you have to do this month to get some of those things going?
Yeah, great question. So I can tell you right now, dude, that like this cluster vision boards that we're talking about, this is daily, right? Like I'm looking at this daily to make sure I'm embodying all of these things. And just so you guys know, I love things on daily and weekly cycles. Monthly cycles, a little too far out for me. Like
same.
So to answer your question, yeah, absolutely. So it's like number of times that I've gone to the gym, like, am I getting the proper sleep? Like, am I dancing? Am I practicing my guitar? Am I like all of those types of things? Am I eating my density diet? Like, so those are daily, multiple times a day. And then my finances. So I pay myself weekly out of the business. So I just checked that box last night. So I get my money around 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then I go through the process of transferring those funds, the $2,000, out from those funds into the house. So there's that. I'd have to read through here, but learning every single day. Like, dude, funny enough, like
And you said creating content. I think that was something you talked about on Monday.
Yep. So that is all this. So these are my scripts for my projects. So I have written out 3 scripts right now. So I need to record them. Dude, also just phenomenal process, man. Like writing something out as a script so that like, and Ray, like literally you're one of the guys that I thought about. It's like, okay, if I were to write a script for Ray, like teaching him this one topic, or it would like word for word, what would I say? And dude, that process, man, right? Like is just great. Like,
They used to say like, explain it to me as if you're explaining it to your mother or your grandmother, right? Like,
yeah.
Or to an uninformed audience. All right, Wes. So, go get after that stuff, man.
You too, brother.
We'll see you on Monday.
Tell me what's one thing you want to complete?
Goals this week. I just wrote them out. Weighing myself every day. Signing up for a Sandler sales program. The vision board. Exercise every day. Guitar every day. That's my week.
Hell yeah.
All right. I'll let you know how it goes on Friday.
Awesome.
Kaizen.
Hell yeah, dude.
Thank you,
2 pages of
Kaizen.
Notes already started my cluster. Fuck right. Hell yeah, dude. Kaizen. Thank you for being a leader, bro. Thank you guys for being all leaders. If you haven't written out your goals, definitely like that should be the takeaway of this. Like write out your fucking goals, make those cluster boards, make those vision boards. It's not going to be perfect, but like just put the fucking time into doing it. Instead of going out to the bar or whatever the fuck it is, like sit down, set 3 hours aside and say like, I'm going to work on me. Like you owe it to yourself to like set this up for you. Cool.
It'll pay huge dividends.
Oh, if my goal is to hit 30% of my goals, right? Like, so fail 70% of them, hit 30% of them, and that 30% pays huge fucking dividends. All right, dudes. Thank you guys.
See you on Monday.
All right, later, dudes.
Thank you, Wes.